Earlier this week, Ahmad Rashad sat down with Kobe Bryant and it was titled Kobe the Interview, where we saw a human side of Kobe Bryant, a side of Kobe Bryant we're not used to technically seeing because he's so used to being hated. There was a lot of interesting quotes and discussion, a lot tied to Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant have similar games. You watch them play. I'm sure you guys, Ben, JR, Jason, by the way, remember a very famous photo of when Michael first played Kobe. It was the talk of the town, and they're both bending over on their knees, taking a breath, and they're speaking to each other. We'll throw that photo in front of the screen for you. Kobe was picking Michael's brain. He was asking Michael, how do you square up the defense? How do you get around these guys? And Michael was giving him advice. Mid-game, regular season game, kind of holds, gives you a little more credibility for the regular season games not mattering as much if players are giving other opposing players advice, by the way. But Kobe also had this to say, and it was regarding who he thinks has the competitive spirit that only he and Michael Jordan share. And he threw out the name Russell Westbrook, not LeBron James, just Russell Westbrook. He said he plays mean, plays spirited, plays competitive. Do you guys think that Russell Westbrook is that same breed of player? I'm not claiming Russell Westbrook to be the
this
greatest
is
of all
talking
time.
attitude, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he has the same breed of attitude. Doesn't mean it always equals the best or the next Jordan versus next Kobe, all that type of stuff. Which is fine. It's what fuels him. There's some guys who can laugh and smile. Magic Johnson, although he wasn't always laughing and smiling, that's just the persona we've attached to him. Yeah. And he's one of the best players of all time.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, you know,
So once in a generation, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Had that, I think, set that same competitive spirit.
Yeah, and you don't always have to be the angry one or the the one who's somehow getting under everyone else's skin all the time. There's guys that are like that aren't that good. So I don't think those always necessarily match up to mean he's going to be that kind of great player. But Russell Westbrook gets on people's nerves with that sometimes.
Yeah, his attitude is, I think that's a fair point that Kobe makes.
It helps him.
It helps him, and it's clearly what fuels him, and he does seem to have that same, I don't care about anything right now except winning attitude. Russell Westbrook, it seems to me, and as we referenced, I didn't go to UCLA, but my dad did, and I grew up a fan, and I love Russell Westbrook, and I've always loved him, and he got so much better. He was an afterthought recruit when it looked like all of a sudden that Jordan Farmar and Aaron Aflalo were both going to the NBA early. Aflalo came back, but in that moment, they brought in Westbrook as a very late recruit, and he was a pretty good freshman year. Then all of a sudden, sophomore year, like, holy, this guy's about to be a top 5 pick. So I love his game. I love the intensity that he plays with. Sometimes with Russell Westbrook, when the shot clock's at 21, you're like, oh, he'll be shooting. And you could see it. You could doom, 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 doom. And
you could also see Kevin Durant in the background going,
I'm Kevin Durant. So, and with Jordan, and Kobe had some of that too, especially, it's hard to, sometimes it's a little hard to separate Kobe from when he had great teammates to when he doesn't. Like, getting the ball to Jordan, an open Jordan Clarkson's not, no offense, it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
his power, Shaq,
or Ed Davis inside, right?
Or Jordan Clarkson.
Or Robert Ory.
What did Jordan Clarkson do?
Yeah, he's on the Lakers. Yeah, he's a player on the starting point guard for the Lakers. So I think Westbrook has some of that, but like you're sure he's going to shoot, and to me, that play doesn't end with a Serge Ibaka dunk.
I'm sorry.
It does end with a 18-foot fall away sometimes. He's better, but that's changed, and like at UCLA, he's getting better, which is a sign of a smart player, but it still seems to me that mind gets made up because and so what I'm saying is that anger sometimes isn't quite focused right. Jordan's anger, it just never seemed to make a mistake. And so his anger would be like, oh, I'm pissed, we're losing right now. And he moves in and he's like, oh, well, there's Steve for 3. I'll just give it. I'll give it to BJ,
Ben,
I'll give it to Steve, I'll give it to Craig.
I know for a fact you're going to love this statistic from Russell Westbrook because it comes from the most important game of the NBA season, being very sarcastic, the NBA All-Star game. Points. Did you bet on the NBA All-Star?
I did. I lost that bet. I had the East +4. So
I can't believe there was a spread. That was the spread?
So that nonsense foul at the end of Westbrook with 2 seconds left, and then he tried to miss the second free
What about
throw.
the
He arced it. He threw it up like 22 feet in the air, and it still went in.
The 2,800 threes that were taken during the game. But moving forward, because one of the things Kobe said in the interview with Ahmad Rashad, and it really was fantastic. Check it out on NBA TV. There's clips from it all over the interwebs. But Kobe mentioned that everyone has this misconception of him and Shaq and throwing their arms around each other, singing Kumbaya and winning championships. Jordan knocked out players in practice for setting hard screens. Kobe yells at his players in practice. There's a 6-second vine, and it blows up because we live in an age where a vine will get circulation on the media, in today's media. What is it about this misconception that everybody has to be friends to win championships? And
I don't know who has that conception.
It seems like that's what a lot of people are anti-Kobe against, is because he's a dick. But Jordan was a dick.
They're different kinds. Something seems wrong with Kobe, and Michael Jordan was liked by his peers, admired by his peers, and
I would say admired more than liked.
I don't know Michael Jordan, but I never heard anybody really say anything really bad about Michael Jordan, and you got the feeling that they respected him. And I'm not saying Kobe is disrespected, but they're different personalities, and Kobe's personality seems to rub people the wrong way. It made it harder to root for him. So, and really easy to root against, whereas Michael Jordan, everything about him was the kind of player that I would root against. He won all the time. He was better than everybody else. He sneered.
Made the league more watchable, too.
But I couldn't do it. I was incapable of rooting against him. You couldn't do it. You'd be like, no, I love him, you know? Whereas Kobe, I had no trouble. And I think that, I don't think I'm crazy. I think there's something.
No, there's a lot
Because
of people
I think,
outside
I
of
mean,
that.
this again, these are all perceptions. We don't know for sure. But I feel like Kobe also seemed to isolate himself from other people, and that's just who he was.
You said
and
he doesn't have many friends.
Yeah, and that wasn't because he kept trying, and then no one wants to be his friend. He's like, he walks up to a kid on the beach and goes, "Will you be my friend, Johnny?"
Can you
And he's like,
imagine
"Fuck
trying
you."
Kobe for
Yeah, I did.
You know what, JR, you said it right there, because it's not just for Michael Jordan, everybody who played with him, everybody, you know, you think the guys I mentioned, B.J. Armstrong, Craig Hodges, Steve Kerr, you know the same thing's going to be true of Horace Grant, Will Perdue, all these guys. They would all say, I was much better for having played with Michael Jordan. I don't think there's a lot of guys saying that I'm better for having played with Kobe
seems
Bryant.
like just
the
Powell.
team was better.
Right.
You know,
It seems like just Powell is the only one who really you can see when they played together.
it doesn't mean that nobody got better playing with
I
Kobe,
agree
but
with that. Well,
in general, he did not elevate everyone around him. Michael Jordan elevated everyone
Yes.
around him.
What do you guys think? Do you think Russell Westbrook plays with the same competitive fire that Jordan and Kobe played with? Not that he's better than Jordan or Kobe before you all jump on the attacking, but comment section down below, leave them there. We're curious what you think. Check out the interview. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you.